Trevor Sikkema. He is the lead analyst for Pro Football Focus. And you have a strong opinion on Shedeur Sanders as well. Trevor, good to have you back. Where do you stand on Shedeur Sanders?
Yeah, appreciate it, Dan. First off, 5'11", 170, 8 7/8 inch hand size, although that is with no hand massaging going on. So I feel like if we get a couple of weeks with that technique, I can hit that Joe Burrow 9-inch threshold. So I just want to say that first and foremost. With Shedeur Sanders, the fact of the matter is I had him slipping out of my post-combine mock draft that I did over at PFF.com. And the reason why is because I could not find anybody that spoke with conviction with Shedeur Sanders being QB1, taken in the top 10, or even as a first-round quarterback. So to me, when I hear that and I line that up with a lot of people were talking about Cam Ward as somebody that you take that chance on, I feel like it's a one-quarterback race at this point. Now, when I watch Shedeur, he plays a very clean brand of football. He understands the position very, very well. You could tell that he's been raised around the game. He understands how to read defenses, go through progressions, all of that, operate the pocket, make protection calls. He knows how to play quarterback. The reason why I'm a little bit lower on him, I gave him a late second, early third round grade, is simply because I don't know if he's got that crazy arm talent to be able to compete against the Lamar Jacksons, the Josh Allens, the Patrick Mahomes, guys like that the reason why you would draft a quarterback isn't in the top 10 isn't just because, hey, let's take one just because we need one. It's because you want to win a Super Bowl. You're taking a guy that high because you believe he can win a Super Bowl. Does Shedeur have the overall arm talent to match up against those guys? I don't think so. And I think as we are getting, more into draft season, and the combine's a really good barometer for this, you get sort of caught up on what the league might have been thinking about these players really all along. And I think that we talked about a 2 QB race because there's so many quarterback needy teams in the top 10, but it just feels like teams are much more gravitating towards Cam Ward worthy of a top selection and Shedeur maybe something more on day 2 or the late first round.
But how much of this is the last name? That if this is just, Shedeur Smith and not Shedeur Sanders, does his draft status stock change at all in your mind?
I would say that it would probably be the other way around. When you look at Shedeur, and I understand how well he played over the last couple of years and everything that he was able to do at Jackson State and then also at Colorado, I think, again, he plays a very clean brand of football. But does he have those NFL-level traits that you want as a franchise caliber quarterback? Because he lacks the overall mobility. And again, I think that he's got a mid-tier NFL-level arm strength, but it's nothing that's really special. So I wonder if it's the opposite, DP. And I wonder if it's the fact that, hey, we've been talking about Shedeur in the top 10, in the top 5, because of sort of who he is and the notoriety that he has, instead of the other way around, like we're seeing now, where it's like, oh, well, does the NFL not like him, because of his last name? And some people call it baggage. I agree with Shedeur when he said at the Shrine Bowl, he's like, I didn't know that having a supportive parent was all of a sudden a bad thing. I totally agree with him when he says that. And so I think it's much more of maybe the notoriety and him being in the public eye and us saying like, hey, if you need a quarterback, he's a quarterback in this class. And now we're just sort of catching up to it. Feels like the NFL saying, maybe not quite in the top 10, maybe something a little bit further down the line.